You know, recently I find myself telling the story of how I taught myself guitar to my students in class. And the reason why is because sometimes I can tell they're feeling challenged. And I always want to be encouraging. I've been there. I remember what that was like. But I wanted to play so bad that nothing was going to stop me, including the fact that I already started at a disadvantage, which was my family was very poor, and so we couldn't afford lessons, let alone a guitar. But I wanted to play so bad. There was a yard sale down the street, and I bought this horrible little acoustic guitar for $5. The strings were like this far off the neck. It was not even playable. It sounded terrible, but I didn't care. And I don't even know how I got the $5, but I managed to do it because I wanted to play so bad. So I took it home. And, you know, back then, you have to remember, we didn't have iPhones, we didn't have iTunes, we didn't have Spotify, YouTube, anything like that. But I had a little record player, and I had some AC/DC albums. And so my favorite song was Sin City, and I chose to learn that one first. So what I did was I put my Power Edge album on, I put it on Sin City, and here I am sitting there with this crappy little guitar from the yard sale. I feel bad saying it's crappy because honestly it's what got me started. But here I was with this not ideal guitar situation and my little record player with the vinyl album, and I put it on and I thought, okay. So I just took my finger and ran it up the neck until I found the notes that sounded like the first note of the song. So I feel like I need to get my guitar to demonstrate this. So hang on a second. How did it end up so sharp? Ah, there we go. Okay, so what I did was I just took my finger and ran it up the neck like that and listened to it. I would play it over and over again just to get that first note, and then I would go that sounds like the first note. That's it. And then I would go to the next note and I'd go through the same process. That's it. That's the second note. And then I would go to the third one, and so on and so forth, until finally I was able to figure out single notes. So it took a long time, I think probably weeks, to figure out the single notes of the song. And so by myself, I was able to figure out this. Yeah, I was determined, to say the least. Then, you know, I just continued doing it like that, playing it like that. And then I met a boy that played guitar, and he showed me how to make chords out of it, power chords to be exact. So then I was able to play it like this. Ah. Right? Okay, so that was a step ahead for sure. And then as I started going along and hanging out with other guitar players and getting to know people and learning from here and there, I eventually learned how to do it in open chords, which is how AC/DC actually does it. So I eventually learned how to play it the right way, which is so that's how I learned my first song. And from there on out, I was never the same again. All I wanted to do was play guitar 24/7. And I learned every AC/DC song that I possibly could. And from there, I developed my own style. I started taking things here and there. You know, Jerry Cantrell, Tony Iommi. You guys know, if you follow me, those are my heroes. And I would just take little bits from different people and learn from friends and watching other musicians. That is the story of how I learned to play guitar. I hope that was inspiring for you, and I'll see you on the next video. Love you guys.